Live it, breathe it, love it. All sports, double coverage.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the great man, Saucy. What's happening, brother?
How are we, Doma? How are we? Not much, man. I'm good. It's been a big week in sport. We had 2 NBA games today that ended up being an absolute whitewash to the home team. Your boys are obviously going up, definitely outplayed their opponents in Philadelphia. Joel Embiid had a tough night. And
Can't even get past Dwayne Dedman.
Well, we all know that James Harden's not going to back up a performance like he had in the last outing because he's just not that guy anymore. Just not that guy.
There was a highway robbery as well during the week, Source, in the NBA with an award that you gave a prediction on. We can actually start right there if we want. I'll quickly, we got F1 on here, EPL, AFL, UFC, Le Mans of the week. I don't even think we've thought of anyone yet. Might even just give it to the NBA, to be honest. But hobby talk, we've got a bit on there.
Thomas feels passionate about it.
Some updates. No, but Sauce, we'll start with it. We'll start with the NBA MVP. We can actually start with the Le Mans of the week if you really want to. So Jokic wins it, 6 seed.
Bounced in the first round. Yeah, look, I don't know how I feel about it. I sort of don't really care about the award anymore. Do I feel that Joel Embiid probably should have won it? Yeah, because they sort of like to share it around. I think he done more than enough to, he won the scoring title. What more do you want the guy to do? And he probably should have been given the award, but it is what it is. I can see you're not happy about it, Dom. You definitely believe he shouldn't have been given the award.
We'll start with the lemon, straight up. All right, I'll give you my feelings. Of course, I've got to acknowledge the great man, Jay, who's in the chats. Welcome. We won't lie, Sauce and I did miss you when you were on a bit of a break, I think, but we did miss you dearly.
Social media cleanse, which is always nice.
Got a bit, honestly, straight up, Jay. I'm not bullshitting you, but we genuinely got concerned when you weren't replying to our messages. Sauce was like, "Did you hear back?" I'm like, "No." Like, where's he gone? We genuinely missed you. So, let's get into it though. I'll set the scene. You know what happened? Nikola Jokic wins the MVP award back to back. For him, only 2 European Euros have ever done that. Him and the Greek Freak, who's the best player in the league. What to say, Sauce? The awards become just an absolute shambles, in my opinion. It's so narrative driven. I get Jokic was the guy who was there, played majority of the season. No Jamal Murray. He carried the team to 6 seed. Embiid did win the scoring title, as you mentioned. He did get injured, which is fair enough. If that's the case, Giannis got his team to the 3rd seed, Source. So I know he had Middleton and Drew Holiday. I'm just over it, to be honest. I don't get it. It's just frustrating. Like, the award's just weird. A lot of people said that Booker should have won it because of his stats, what he averaged and stuff. Obviously, the 1st seed in the West. A lot of the time, it does go to the teams that are up there in the top 3 seeds. So
yeah, I seen a graphic the other day where they showed LeBron's season from one of his seasons in Cleveland, where they finished in the 4th seed, and the argument back in that season was, how can he get it? He finished in the 4th seed. That was the argument why they didn't want to give him the award, and here we are this year, many years on, 5-6 years on, and they're giving it to Jokic, who's finished in the 6th seed. Yeah, had a phenomenal season. Don't get me wrong, had a phenomenal season. But probably didn't deserve it, Dominic. Probably didn't deserve it.
Sauce. The award, I'll end it on this before you can give a big shout out of the Le Mans. But the award, seriously, has to be changed.
The way it's
You're not.
voted has to be changed.
Yeah, true. That's the same with All-Star voting, mate. They vote guys that are sitting on the sidelines, not even playing any games. Or the fan vote. We've got to get them involved. What? So they can vote.
Vauban nearly made the All-Star
Yeah,
game.
no, but yeah, I know. But so what? You can like stop trying to bullshit us. Like we know that you allow the fans to vote, but then the NBA just vetoes the fans' vote anyway to put who they really want as an All-Star. Like it's the biggest gimmick of all time. Like, come on, man, you
It's all
can't be
just a
that.
marketing ploy on social
That's all
media
it
to
is.
hashtag NBA
Hashtag this,
All-Star
create your
this.
all-star team, do this, do that.
Yeah,
It's all just a bit of fun and games, mate. In the end of the day, your vote goes to the NBA and they go, well, yeah, we're not going to put this guy in, so we're going to put him instead. And they'll be like, oh, the fans voted this many times for so-and-so, and that's how we made it. Mate, you do know it's technology, so they can just pull the slider up on their graphic for certain players. Like Boban could be winning for a month, and then it's like, oh, he's dropped off in favoritism, and it's like, oh, look at the late run by Ja Morant. He's gonna beat Boban. Like, come on, man. It's just fucking so stupid that people actually believe that their vote counts for something. It's so funny.
But the All-Star award needs to change, mate.
That needs to as well. But anyway, we're not talking about that. Well, we can put that in all encompassing Le Mans of the Week nomination for the NBA. But you can't have an most valuable player award and like it just makes no sense because I understand it's got a regular season, but you know what? Playoffs are part of the season. If your MVP is getting bounced in the first round, like why aren't we taking playoffs into consideration? Like, you know, like why can't the whole season, including playoffs, be into consideration for the player? The finals MVP should still be awarded because it's the best player in the finals for that best of 7 games, which is understandable. That actually makes sense, and that's like that doesn't need to be changed unless you're giving it to Andre Iguodala when he's blatantly got destroyed by LeBron James, which fair enough. You should have just given it to Curry. You rig everything out, so you might as well just give it to Curry, not the guy that got destroyed and made LeBron average 35, 13, and 10 on him. Like, so stupid. It's just dumb. Anyway, on that note, Source, get your shit together. It's actually an embarrassment. So the NBA, the National Basketball Association, you are this week's. Take it away.
Lemon.
Reinvigorated. The Le Mans of the week. Fucking hell, it's a long one.
That was
Adam.
The vocal cords were warmed up, mate, because I had a few frothies before, mate. So we're kicking off the show with a lemon to the NBA National Basketball Association, because you actually got no clue.
There was someone else I was actually going to give it. There was someone else I was going to give it to, Source. And you know what? It actually might be a double Le Mans because when we get to the actual Le Mans of the week slot, I am going to give it to this person. Again, I'm on fire this week. I just want to flame some people. And when I mention the person that we're giving it to, Source, you are going to laugh. You're just going to lose your shit like you always do. You're going to probably go in on the person as well. So we'll wait and see when Le Mans of the week, the actual segment comes up for the double Le Mans for this week's episode. But we're going to start, even though we just gave him the lemon of the week, we're going to start with the NBA in the playoffs. And of course,
I've got an honorable mention for a Le Mans of the week as well.
Don't give the honorable mention because just wait, because the honorable mention could be the person I want to give it to because we haven't consulted on this. This is the issue.
All right, go on.
Adam said it must have cut Embiid deep. He had a shocker today, and we're going to start with that. Miami defeated Philadelphia 120-85, a 35-point smashing today. 3-2 lead for Miami. No Lowry, no worries. Probably don't need to play Lowry for the rest of the season.
Probably
he's been horrific.
Yes, he has been.
So
you're better off paying Vincent. Vincent is more length. He's good shooter. Fits well into the system. So yeah, I'd definitely be playing Vincent.
So thoughts on it, Source? Obviously, James Harden played out of his skin the last 2 games. got the series back to 2-2. Philly actually played really well. They pretty much took us to the sword in the last game, and then today we've come out and just destroyed them. Obviously, they get Embiid back, so you thought, oh, the way they've been playing. But we did say last week, Source, that not everyone on that team can eat for Philly when they're all playing at the same time. We said, well, you said Tobias Harris was having a standout couple of games without Joel Embiid there, and that's because he becomes an option. They got to find him more, so he's more of an offensive threat. Now that you have, not for anything, your number one back in the team, it becomes pretty difficult to share those shots between him, Harden, Maxey, and Embiid. So interesting stuff. Your thoughts? Is it done? Do they get it back? Does it go to 7? It's been all over the shop this series.
Goes back to Philly for the next game. I think Philly will rally at home and force a game 6. Where is game 6?
7.
Yeah,
Game
7.
6 is next.
Yeah, so I think they'll win game 6, force a game 7, and then I think Miami just at home they just look too strong. And I don't know, I didn't like the basketball that was played today. It just struggled early, never found the rhythm, lacked defensively, and yeah, I just think Miami is the better squad. The better squad. You got. I think they play better team basketball. I think he was at times going to the zone as well to sort of, play around with them a bit on defense, changing it up. Eric Spoelstra is a good coach. I'm just going to tell you, he's out coached Doc Rivers, Mister throw everyone under the bus, but himself, Rivers.
Beep beep beep. That's the bus backing up, mate.
That's the bus backing up. Who's he throwing it under? So look, I sort of want to see that happen because I want to see who Doc Rivers throws under the bus this time. Because he always has an excuse. But
it just shows that there's guys
I think
in
Miami's
there.
Better.
Top coaches of all time. There's one there in Eric Spoelstra. A lot of people said he was carried. Obviously, when he had the Heatles there with Wade, Bosch, and LeBron, and he's actually proven everyone wrong.
Yeah. Yes.
Since that's been disbanded, because obviously we struggled, but us struggling was down in that 8th seed, 9th seed, then up into the 6th seed, and then we're number 1 seed. So make of it what you will. So, yeah, I think the same thing as you, Source. I think it'll go 3-3 and then to the 7th game, and then we should wrap it up at home, but who knows? The next series, which has been an absolute ripper, and Milwaukee pretty much coughed this one up in game 4. The series tied at 2-2, but the Bucks and Boston has been probably the best series so far out of all of them. They had a 9-point lead going into the 4th, the Bucks, and then they just blew the lead. Celtics had 43 points in the last quarter that they dropped on the Bucks. They just went nuts. So I don't know what happens here, Source. They've both taken a game each at home from each other. Boston was lucky not to steal both games from Milwaukee. Obviously, the tip-in in game 3.
That could have easily went their way. I don't know. I'm a little bit on the side of the Celtics here. I think they need to figure out a way to. I mean, you can't let a guy like Al Horford put up 30 points on you like that. They just failed to make adjustments in that game when Al Horford. Because, look, Al Horford is an above-average three-point shooter for, a big guy. So you got to give him respect out on that line. But he's also a bit of a streaky shooter where, if it's not falling for him for the night, he's sort of off. But that last game, it was falling for him. They didn't give him enough respects. They left him open. I mean, I don't even see that one play where he drove it on Giannis and just threw that absolute hammer down on him. And, I mean, if Horford can play up to that standard throughout the rest of the playoffs and really give him a third option and have a big guy there where they can stretch the floor. Grant Williams is proving to be probably one of the steals of the draft in that year, in terms of a guy that can fill a real role in your team.
Shoot the
A
three.
bit smaller frame, shoots the free, but taller, a bit shorter than the average sort of power forward size. But what that allows you, it allows you to switch more on defense. He's got pretty quick feet. He's built solid, so it's not like he gets switched onto a bigger guy and he actually gets back down into the paint. No, he's got a strong base. He stands up well, plays pretty good defense. Is shooting, I think, like 40% for the playoffs, 41% or something like that from three. So really good. So look, I really like the Celtics, but I think once again, this goes back to Milwaukee. No, it goes back to Boston now. I think Boston's going to be on a bit of a roll here, and they might win the next game, and then goes back to Milwaukee where they'll win it and force a game 7. I'm seeing a game 7 again. I'm seeing a game 7 here. But this next game is crucial. As I said, Donna, the stat, the team who wins game 5 wins 91% of the time of the 7-game series. So, it's a big game 5. Big game.
Massive. Just a quick hello, a few hellos. Obviously, Adam Smith, Matty Cam's in here. James. Yes, James, I was about to bring this up because your comment mixed in with Jay's comment. Whoever wins out of the Celtics Bucks wins it all for me. Yes, Saucy, I don't know if you feel the same way. I know we briefly discussed this on a few podcasts a few episodes ago, but we said that they were the two best defensive teams. And at the moment, we did say, I think 2 weeks ago, that we honestly, we can't see any team from the West beating
we have
Boston or Bucks.
Been on the East side, sort of saying that the East
they play defense
really competitive this season.
There's three defensive sides in the East, in Miami, Boston, and the Bucks.
Milwaukee. Yeah,
I just think the matchups are too good to be true, to be honest, when they face one of the West teams. Jay says, if you had $10K to bet on one team to win the NBA championships, who are you backing? Jay, I'll wait till this series is done. And then whoever wins it, that's who I'm putting all my money on. So it'll be either Boston or Milwaukee that wins it, I think, which is incredible saying that, considering Boston weren't even in the mix before the All-Star break. And then, I don't know, a light bulb.
But you say that a lot with teams. You say that 100%.
Maddie says Golden State for me, too much depth. They got another gear. Yeah. Seasoned veterans. Anything can happen. I don't know. That's just my feeling. We'll move over to the West. We'll quickly just breeze over this one, the Golden State and Memphis series. This series is over. Ja Morant pretty much he's out for the rest of the playoffs potentially. So yeah, it's over. That's game 5 is tomorrow, and Golden State will wrap it up. Jay says
they were right in that last game as well, but
Jay says the odds will be diminished. Pick one now. Bucks. You happy? Bucks. There you go. Fuck. Bucks will win it. Now that I said that, Boston will win. They'll win the series. And then the last series, Phoenix slapped Luka the Don by 30 today. They were up early, Dallas, and it all just fell apart. To be honest, Source, did we think that they were going to win 2 games against Phoenix?
No, we didn't.
No. And that's because Luka the Don was just jacking up a million shots. And
but in the last game, Chris Paul played 20 minutes or 21 minutes.
He got fouled out. Yeah. And Finney Smith stepped up. He had 22 in that. Oh, man, there were some terrible calls in that.
But that's what it's going to take for them to win the next game. It goes back to their home court, where I can't see why Dallas couldn't win on their home court and force a game 7. But I just think Phoenix is just overall the better team. And I look at the Phoenix Suns team, and I don't necessarily look at the guys, which is Booker and CP3. I look at the others, And I go, do I trust the others of the supporting cast of Suns more than Dallas? Yeah, I do. I do. I think they can deliver more consistently. You've seen it today. You've seen it today in the game where off the bench, you got nothing. Uh, you know, Dinwiddie pitching in with 2 points in 16 minutes off the bench. Kleber only 4 points off the bench in 4 minutes. You had two guys who start. You had Reggie Bullock who played 35 minutes and scored 0 points and started. So I just don't trust the other guys. And then here you got Mikal Bridges. CP3 didn't have a good game, only had 7 points, but then he had 10 assists. But then Mikal Bridges pitched in with 14 points. And then you had Big Aiton, 20 points. And then off the bench, Cameron Johnson, 14 points. And Big Bismack is getting a few more minutes. They're trying to bully them by when they play that small ball, and it seems to be working.
Told you I should have played that big body in Boban.
Yeah, look, you know what, Doma? They got absolutely dominated today in the paint, especially in the second half. And, you say it. You don't just say it because...
I'm not saying because I want to see him, even though I want to see him.
Yeah, but you're saying it because you got to throw a different look in there. Like, you got to try something.
Well,
You got to try something.
The something worked in the last series against Phoenix. They crashed the boards, and that's how they were able to force it. As far as they did,
correct.
They killed him on the glass.
They killed him on the glass. You're right.
They had no answer for Jonas Valanciunas. Don't give me Aiden. Yeah, Aiden's a good offensive big man. He's not good at crashing the boards. It's a bit like AD like that. Yeah, he gets boards in some games, but what's he playing against? He got destroyed against Valanciunas on the glass in the last series. Killed.
Yeah.
So that's what kept New Orleans in it. It was there. Jason Kidd not watch the games like we did, or I don't know.
He doesn't even watch the games. He doesn't even watch the games.
Yeah, relax there, Goldie. Yeah. Easy. All right, Sauce. That's pretty much it. We'll see how that unravels. Pretty much all the series will be done by next Wednesday, and we'll probably be looking to the Eastern Conference and Western Conference finals starting up. So we'll move on to what was one of the biggest races of the year, highly anticipated, and that was the Formula One Crypto.com Miami Grand Prix over the United States. Leclerc started on pole, followed by Sainz, but it was ultimately the very, very, very quick Red Bull car that when the gearbox doesn't fail, Max is looking pretty good at the moment. So Max wins it. Leclerc and Sainz second and third. Perez in fourth. Russell in fifth. Hamilton in sixth. Part upgrades this weekend, Source. They just passed for Mercedes. I'm just going to drop that there. Bottas seventh. Ocon eighth. Albon ninth. Stroll 10th. Alonso 11th. Tsunoda 12th. And then a very forgetful weekend for McLaren, 13th for Daniel Ricciardo, DNF for Lando Norris, didn't even finish. Vettel in last in 17th. Magnussen and Schumacher struggle in their home Grand Prix in 15th and 16th. The other ones that did not finish were Pierre Gasly and Zhou Guan Yu for Alfa Romeo. So, yeah, very interesting Source. Over to the constructors. Ferrari is 6 points ahead of Red Bull, 157 to 151. Mercedes 95. McLaren 46. Alfa Romeo 31. Alpine 26. AlphaTauri 16. Haas 15. Aston Martin 6. And Williams on 3. And then the driver standing Source. This is the one everyone's looking at. Still 19 points ahead is Charles Leclerc over Max Verstappen. Sergio Perez in third on 66. George Russell in fourth on 59. Carlos Sainz in fifth on 53. Hamilton in sixth on 36. And then Norris, Bottas, Esteban Ocon, and Magnussen round out the top 10. No race this week. It'll be back in a couple weeks' time. But thoughts on the race? Very underwhelming.
Yeah,
It got built up bigger than Ben-Hur. was boring as batshit, if you ask me. There was a bit of drama late, but that was it. We got promised all this driving around like Miami marinas and this and that, and it's going to be like kind of a bit like Albert Park. That's what we promised. But instead, what we got was painted on ocean floors, dropping in some boats on the fake ocean floor to make it look like they were driving around a marina. But they did do a great job. But the fact that the telecast had to keep saying that, oh, they've done a good job turning the Hard Rock Stadium parking lot into a racetrack, which is what they did. They've done a really good job of it. Doesn't hide the fact that it was a bit poxy, if you ask me. Yes, it was the first crack at it. Hopefully it improves next year. And it's great, obviously, that the United States has gained another race due to the gaining interest. But
once they do the one in Vegas, who's going to want to go to the Miami one once they see the Vegas
yeah, it's true. The other thing, Source, one other bone to pick. All right? If you are from the United States, all right, and you are on the race straight pre-race, and you are approached by Martin Brundle, you should show the man the respect. Secondly, show him the respect. Firstly, you should fucking know who Martin Brundle is. If you're so involved in F1, you got to know who he is. And stop just shunning him away like you don't want to answer questions. Like, I get that. That's fine. And we saw that in Texas last year with Megan Thee Stallion. Remember, she wanted to actually comment, and the security guard got in front and pretty much barred him. Remember that, Source? In the pre-race? Like, you all need to just take a leaf out of DJ Khaled's book, who pretty much just snatched the microphone out of Martin Brundle's hand. I don't know if you've seen it, Source. He's like, God gracious above, and another one, and he's just talking all these shit.
DJ Khaled's bloody courtside in the Miami Heat game today, and he was giving Eric Spoelstra a massage.
He's the GOAT. I love him. So take a leaf out of DJ Khaled's book. Martin Brundle didn't do himself any favors when he mistook the college basketball player for Patrick Mahomes, which doesn't always help your cause. It doesn't help your cause. So that's Martin should probably learn who they are. But besides the point, show the man some respect. He is a legend of the sport, and it's one of the most popular segments of race day. So, yeah, just something to come up to speed with in educating yourself on the sport. All right. It's not about the glitz and glamour all the time. There's some other things as well that happen on race day. All right. So moving on to the EPL. And before we talk about the elephant in the room, which we are going to talk about the elephant in the room, we'll get to some of the results. My worst fears were confirmed. All right. Because, of course, the GOAT reported that it was happening, and I may have been wrong. But Liverpool 1-1 with Spurs, dropped points there. Brighton defeated Man United 4-0. Ronaldo was even laughing at United in that game. Palace beat Watford 1-0, 2-2 for Chelsea and Wolves, 3-1 Villa and Burnley, 3-0 Brentford over Southampton, City 5-0 over Newcastle, West Ham 4-0 over Norwich, Everton 2-1 over Leicester, Arsenal 2-1 over Leeds, and Liverpool 2-1 over Aston Villa this morning. Anything, Source? Any comments you want to make?
I'm pretty confident that my boys are going to lock up here, top four. It's one game to go. I think we're 4 points clear of Tottenham, so it doesn't even matter if we got to verse them this week. So it doesn't even matter if we lose. We pretty much can't fall out of Champions League. We've secured Champions League. It's an amazing feeling to finally be back there. There's more than how many games? There's 3 games left. Oh no, we haven't secured it. All right, we need to beat them this weekend. 3 games left. We need to beat them this weekend. It's a big game. Friday morning. when is it? This Friday morning,
4:45.
4:45
Yeah.
a.m. It's a big game. Might have to get up and watch it, and could be celebrating heavily because I think it comes down to that. And then other than that, the top of the table, it's still open. If City keep winning, obviously they're going to finish on top. They are equal points at the moment. City still got a game in hand, so they have to keep chugging along. I just can't see now that City don't have anything but the league to play for. I just don't see how they lose it from here. I just think they're going to see out every game. Their draw is not too difficult. Have a look here. Their
They
fixture.
got Wolves this week.
Yeah, and then they got West Ham and then Aston Villa. So, not too difficult of a fixture.
Yes. So the games this week: Leeds, Chelsea, Leicester, Norwich, Watford, Everton, Wolves, City, Spurs, Arsenal. Then Sunday, Spurs, Burnley, followed by Villa, Palace, Leeds, Brighton, Watford, Leicester, West Ham, City, Wolves, Norwich, Everton, Brentford. And then Tuesday before the pod, we got Newcastle, Arsenal, and Wednesday morning before the next pod, we have Southampton versus Liverpool. So a lot of games getting fit in. Yes, James has put in the comments the FA Cup final is this weekend, and that is between Chelsea and Liverpool. So tune in for that one as well. So the elephant in the room, obviously, Source, is the great man got signed to Man City. My deepest fears, as I mentioned, were confirmed because we got the here we go from Fabrizio. Even that, I thought he was going to go to Madrid and they were going to get Mbappe and Haaland, and it looks like they might not get either of them. So at the moment, so fuck. To put the icing on the cake sauce, the trifecta is Zion re-signs for New Orleans and he doesn't go to New York, and it's all come tumbling down for me. But your thoughts on Erling Haaland obviously signing with Man City during the week?
Yeah, look, I'll just be interested to see how he goes next season in the Premier League. I can't see him sort of struggling, especially in a team like that. But I'll be interested to see how his game develops, and if it elevates him to this next level, because he has a lot of a talent, but he's got a lot of untapped talent. I think there's things he can do better on the pitch, and it'll be interesting to see. Does his game, does his level, become even better under a coach like Pep Guardiola, who would hands down be the best coach he's ever been coached by, without doubt. So, look,
massive.
It's pretty disheartening to see as a supporter, someone who supports a team in the Premier League, because they're most likely going to win it this season, and they've just signed probably the best, one of the top 3 best young strikers in the world.
Not guaranteed to win anything, Source. Not guaranteed. I'm not doubting the chances of them winning next year. They're obviously favourites to win, but obviously I like to play devil's advocate. And in a team where they're so successful without a striker, Man City, obviously they play a lot of smalls up there, a lot of wingers and centre forwards. To have the big guy, does he turn into a bit of a Lukaku situation for Man City where they target him so much that it may cause some teething issues early in the season, and then they obviously fix it up by mid-year? And will it be too late because how good Liverpool is and continue to become? But I reckon this kid's phenomenal. He's got a bit to prove. He's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders from football pundits out there, Source, because everyone's knock on him is he did it in the Bundesliga, which I get that, but on the flip side, he did do it in Champions League as well against some of the better teams in the world, in Europe. So I'm excited as much as I'm also disappointed and quite scared that, well, I'm pretty happy that Ten Hag is the coach of Man United next season, because if we played against City this season with Haaland, I'd actually be afraid of the scoreline in the Manchester derby. 5-0 is the least of my worries, to be honest. Uh, yeah. But some of the info, Man City will pay 60 million pounds for the release clause to Borussia Dortmund, plus commission. He's set to join the club on the 1st of July. He's signing till June 2027 on a 5-year deal. His salary worth £375,000 per week, same level as Kevin De Bruyne's current deal, not breaking salary structure. So big news for Man City fans, and time to celebrate, I guess. Global, what's up? Thanks for jumping in. All right, Source. Moving on to the AFL, and we had round 8 just wrapped up. Port Adelaide defeated the Dogs 86-69. Then the Dockers slapped North 15-12, 102 to 3 goals, 6-24. No comment. They didn't even have their team. No Tabernar. No Fife. He's still not even playing. Could have been 1,000 points if the GOAT was playing. 5. Yeah, not great. Not great at all for North.
Jason Horne-Francis hold off contract talks.
Yeah, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. I don't really care, to be honest. He do whatever he wants. Nah.
I think he's just trying to milk more money. I think
so too.
I think I read something like he's like, number 1 or number 2 in contested possessions at the team, number 3 in disposals, and for a guy in his first season and in his first games, he's pretty much putting it on older guys there.
That's fair, but it's fair in argument. Like, the stats don't lie there, but in fairness, fucking anyone in that team, if they really stepped up, could have the exact same stats as him.
But I think it's just him. It's a bit of, if you come there as your first season, it's your first season, and you're leading some of the club's stats.
But we knew he was going to be this good.
Oh yeah, I know.
He's just coming to a team that's horrific.
Anyway, you always try to back up the brink, Chuck, and get all these other guys. Maybe you should pay someone that you've drafted and keep him at the club for the next 6 to 7 years, and try really build around him. Don't know.
Mate, just give him.
I don't think he'll leave. My personal advice, I don't think he'll leave.
Just give him 5 extra years and put in the clause that you get blessed by the Shinboner spirit, and you'll be fine, mate. Like,
he's got that tenfold.
Yeah, fuck. And then we have Richmond defeating Collingwood 113-86. And what was a great game until obviously Richmond kicked away, but Collingwood showed glimpses. I think they tagged Ginnivan early.
Tigers are back.
They are back. Your prediction of them winning the flag, it's just not.
It's got a glimmer of hope.
I don't think they're going to win.
I wrote it off, but it's got a little glimmer of hope. And the footy I've seen them play on the weekend is indicative of some of their best that they've played. And if they can play in that manner, and not get smashed in the clearances, win the ball around the ground. They had their big forwards firing. The dirtiest player in the game was
Ric Flair is back. He's playing Gold Coast type. I don't know, cheating as Ric Flair. That's when he was his most dominant. Before he became the dirtiest player in the game.
We're talking about Tom Lynch, ladies and gentlemen. Tom Lynch.
He did get himself in form against the bye the following week. He probably should have kicked 13 against West Coast, but besides the point. But he's firing Sauce. He's looking good. Don't worry, Global. We'll get to the Bombers. We'll get to the Bombers. Sauce has got a bit to say, and I've got a bit to say on the Bombers this week. So good win by the Tigers. The Swans got pantsed by the Suns at home, 75-61. I was a bit shocked seeing this, but the Swans just struggled. Absolutely struggled.
Yeah, I think this is maybe what you're going to get with some of these teams, and I think even I wouldn't put them in the same category as Adelaide, but those inexperienced teams. If this is a game you go in there on your home deck, you should win. But maybe it's showing also the growth of the Suns, that they've got goal and resolve, that after maybe a few results that haven't gone their way, they can sort of knuckle down and pull out a result like this. So maybe it's showing growth on that side. So good sign for the Suns. Yes, we'll see if Sydney can bounce back this week.
We will. Obviously, pissed off Geelong outfit travelled over to Sydney and smashed the Giants 88-35 after losing to the Dockers at GMHBA Stadium the week before. So they came out
Giants
firing
stink.
and got the job done. Thoughts on that? Obviously, you would have seen. I didn't see any of this game, so your reasoning behind it?
I think it's just typical Giants. I don't read too much into the wins that they have had. I've watched games of them this season, and they just don't look a good football side. They don't move the ball well. There's times where their pressure is non-existent, and Geelong was just all over them in this game. And Geelong are a good side. I mean, they shouldn't have lost last week, but in true fashion, as you do as a good side, you come out in the following week and you make amends, and making amends on the road, in fashion like that, winning by 45 points or something like that. It's a good win. That's a good win. I couldn't
50,
believe,
they
Dom.
bet it by
If I
53.
was giving a bet of the week, this would have been my bet of the week. They were $1.90 a piece, even money going into this game, $1.90 a piece. When I seen the odds, I thought that was ridiculous. I did chuck them in a multi that ended up getting up, so I was happy about that. But the bookies, I don't know what they were looking at. I don't know. There's a golfing class between the two outfits, Geelong and GWS, and GWS are far off the pace of Geelong.
Very nice. Then we had the Lions defeating the Eagles by 75. You don't even have to go into that game. That was just a demolition. Then Melbourne showed that you need to do a lot more than win some early games to be put close to their level. Excuse me, about to
They blew it
cough.
out. They blew it out
Yeah.
of the water in the first half, mate, and then sort of just cruised to victory in the second half. But yeah, Melbourne are just so good. But you know what? Look, credit to St Kilda. Melbourne was just so phenomenal in that game. There was like a stat where they put like their pressure points, which is how much pressure they're putting on, and it's a statistic they do, and like an elite level is like 200 pressure points, and for most of that first quarter when they got a run on, their pressure points were at 200, which is elite level for St Kilda. I'm talking about, that is, but
Yeah.
Melbourne were just that clean with the ball and that precise with their ball use and ball handling. There was nothing that St Kilda could do.
They're just a
They'd
well-oiled machine.
They'd get to the ball first, and then it was just clean possession after clean possession. Even though they're putting on the pressure, there's just nothing to do about it. They did try to fight back in the second half, but it was lost in the first half. And Melbourne managed the game well down the stretch and secured the win. But yeah, Melbourne look by far the best team in the comp, and just the way that they're able to, if they go out of their structures for a period of the game, it's not like other teams where they'll lapse, and that lapse ends up being a 10, 15-minute lapse. And then all of a sudden the other team's kicked 5 goals on you in a row, or 6 goals, which what can happen in footy. Goals can be banged on quick. They're able to just go, nah, you know what? They've kicked 1, they've kicked 2. We need to turn the level up here, and they turn it up, and that's the sign of a good team. They know the moments within the game that they need to go, no, this is getting away from us. And your big guys, your Oliver, your Petrarca, Langdon with that run on the outside, he's phenomenal. Turn it up a notch, especially in the midfield there, Viney and the likes, and they get the job done. So yeah, look, Melbourne just a well-oiled machine, as you said. They look brilliant.
Then we had Carlton defeating Adelaide by 48 points. Like, excuse me, you mentioned this about Adelaide. Young team, inexperienced. At times, they're obviously going to falter, and it's happened again this week. We'll end on a high note for you, Sauce, after this round. The Bombrays, massive last quarter against the Hawks, blew the game open and ended up winning this by 27 points. And it all started with your best player, which started playing this year, which is Nick Martin. So, just your thoughts on this game.
He's good. Look, when he went to the game with a few friends, and didn't expect much. Not being truthful, expected to lose the game. I'm being brutally honest. Especially after I seen, a few guys had the flu. We had like 5 guys who had to pull out: Ridley, Durham, a number of other guys as well. Callie, yeah, he's been one of our good defenders this season, probably our best defender. So, didn't expect much. But you know what? We came out, we gave it a crack. And, I could tell that we had a chance of winning this game after the first quarter when our pressure, look, it wasn't about, at time our skills let us down and a few things let us down. But when we had that pressure around the ball, when we were able to get the overlap run off the halfback where we were taking the kick on the inside, Doma, I seen on the weekend, this is what frustrates me, that little 15, 20-meter chip to go bring the ball back into the middle after when you're out on the wing, you get the ball out, the release kick out to the wing, and you can find that one inside and it opens up the fat side of the ground so you can switch the play or get the overlap run so that you can get a deep inside 50. We weren't doing that, enough. We do it at times during other games, but not doing it enough and not enough to win games. And that's what we're seeing on the weekend. They did that. We had the overlapping run. Nick Hine, I don't know why it's taken him 7 rounds to realize that we need his overlap run like that. We needed to run, bounce, take on guys and deliver the ball deep inside 50, get it to one-on-ones, and then, give guys like 2-meter Peter a chance. And when they're able to kick it to his advantage, I'll tell you what, he's probably the best set shot for a guy of his size in the competition. I'd have to say, I'd have to put him up there as probably the best.
You're just saying that because you played with him.
I did play with him down at Moonee Valley for a little bit. Yeah, I did. But he is. Go have a look at his statistics, and you see when he gets a shot on goal, he is very, very, very good. But credit to my boys. We got to bounce back. Look, it's a bit of false hope.
Season's I'm not done yet.
Season's not done yet. But I'm not sold just yet. We know we need to back it up this week. Go to Sydney and have a red hot crack. We need to put that pressure on like we put on. And we're going to get quite a few guys back this week. So, it'll be interesting to see what the coach does. I think he needs to keep playing some of the younger guys. He played that second ruckman in Bryan, Nick Bryan, I think it was called. His name was. He needs to keep playing. They need to keep playing these younger guys and giving more games to them, having a crack. And, yeah, look, it was good to get the win, Dom. I'm not going to lie. Had a few frothies at the game. Was up and about. It's been a miserable season. And it just frustrates me when you go there and you go, you're sitting primo seating at Marvel Stadium, level 2, so you can see the whole game unfold, mate. And you throw your hands up and you go, why has it taken us 6 weeks to play like this when this is how we played last season and we made finals? So why didn't we just keep sticking with the same game plan and obviously just get better at certain aspects that we need to get better, right? It's like the coach had changed the game plan these first 5-6 games, but we're seeing what we seen from last season, seen them on the weekend, and it was brilliant. It was brilliant to see. Yeah, that's nice. Right, Global. Nick Hine running again. We had other guys running off the back line, which was brilliant to see. Look, I'm not sold. Essendon is still not going to. Just for the pessimist in me, I'm going to tell you, Essendon ain't going to do shit still this season, even when we somehow turn the season around and do make the 8. But I just want to see improvement. Positive. I want to see an attacking game style. And I know we can win games. We've got the talent there. We've got enough skill. Devin Smith is still shit. I'm going to put that out there. He's still horrific. Even though we did win the game. Yeah, go watch that game. He did some things good, but he still can't hit up targets. He still can't kick on his right foot.
Let's get to round 9, Source, and it starts with Collingwood versus the Dogs Friday night. Doggies are the favourites in this one. Your thoughts? I'm going Pies.
Yeah, I've got to go to the Pies as well. Doggies have sort of fallen off a cliff. I think Bont is injured. I think he might be out.
No, he might be back this week.
Might be back this week. Okay. So look,
but they lost a few to injury in the game against Port Adelaide.
The Dogs. I think this is danger signs for them and their season. Their season is on the line this next couple of weeks. They'd want to get some wins on the board.
Then we got the Hawks versus the Tigers on Saturday, 1:45 p.m. at the G.
Tigers.
Yeah,
I
I'm
reckon
going
play that
Tigers
play.
as well. They're $1.35 favourite source in this one. Then North against Port Adelaide in
Port.
Tassie. Port. Then
Port's
we've
won 2
got
in a row.
the Saints versus the Cats at Marvel. I'm going to go the Saints because it's at Marvel.
I'm going to back in the Cats.
Okay, nice. Then we've got the Swans versus the Bombers at the SCG on Saturday night. You're going to go Bombers. Back them in.
No, Swans. Because
Swans.
we don't know who's going to come out. Is going to be a team that's going to apply the pressure and play that same type of running and attacking game style, or we're going to go back into our shell and kick long down the line, which is literally the worst thing you could do at the SCG with such a small ground. You're better off just going straight down the middle, getting in there forwards quickly, giving them one-on-one chances. Look, I think the Swans will still have enough.
Crows Lions at Adelaide Oval. Lions for me.
Lions. They're looking good.
Then the Sunday games, we've got Gold Coast versus the Dockers at Metricon. Go Dockers.
At Metricon. Yeah, they should be getting a few players back. Big win by the Suns. They've won on the road a few times this season. Yeah, I'm going to have to back the Dockers in. They are playing good football.
GWS versus Carlton in New South Wales at Giant Stadium. Harry Mackay out for 6 weeks for the Blues, knee injury.
Yeah, not good. I don't know. I think this is a danger game for Carlton. This is a game they need to go out there and go, you know what, we're good enough side now to win these games. I'm going to go with the Blues, but I wouldn't be surprised GWS gets the win.
And then the Eagles, $17 against the D's at $1.01 at Optus Stadium on Sunday afternoon.
What do you reckon? 84 points?
I'm going 100. I'm going 101 to 140. Is my prediction.
You think they're going to score 101 points West Coast?
No, that's what they're going to get beaten by.
Oh, right.
Like,
yeah, I think they're going to get beaten by about 80 points. But Melbourne definitely.
With it, in all honesty, if football was as real as a team sheet and putting it into practice with the defense that Melbourne has, and the defensive football that they play and how they transition into attacking football, and what the crop of AFL players that are out on the park for West Coast, if it was as true as the piece of paper in front of you, Source, on the team sheet, West Coast probably shouldn't score more than 5 goals in this game. Realistically. But more often than not, that's not the case. But let's be realistic. They should not kick more than 5 goals. With the defense that Melbourne has, they should get given an absolute bath, killed. Global says Hewitt won't play for Carlton. You reckon he's done? Rumor on the street is 4 weeks. Global. Keep him on the bench in Supercoach. I'm not going to bring up my Supercoach this week because it's fucking finished. So let's not worry about my shit team. Let's worry about yours, Global. Where's your ranking at this week? I'm assuming you had a big week. Actually, I'll bring up the league so we can talk about where I'm at. I don't even think I scored 2,000 this week. I had a 0 on the field, so it was just an absolute shambles. It was so bad. 2,063. Yeah, it's absolutely shit. I'm struggling. Let's get the leagues up. Where are we at here? Sorry. I'll get this up here. Hopefully share my screen. Hopefully it works. And hopefully Global can get through his Supercoach ranking. And then we'll move on to, of course, I lost 6 out of my 6 league, Source, which is always nice.
Absolute beatdown. 6 out of 6 you lost.
Yeah.
That is a spot effort.
Yeah, relax. I'm just struggling. It's always so slow when I'm on the pod to get this sorted. Anyway, let's not worry about it. Let's move on, or else I'm going to just be wasting time trying to find this shit. If I can... Actually, no, I could be on here. Could be on. He's still top 300. It's good global. I'm very happy that one of us is doing something out there. Here's Lamont. Bring it up. I'm in 8th still source. And global. I'll share my screen. It's not working again, of course, even though it worked when we did something the other day. So David's on top. The Oracle's second. Global's in third. Arthur in fourth. Jared in fifth. Harley in sixth. Michael in seventh. Myself in eighth. Josh in ninth. Adam in 10th. Matt's Card Shop in 11th. Paul in 12th. Yaron in 13th. Steve in 14th. Thomas in 15th. Adrian in 16th. Luca in 17th. Emilio in 18th. Julio in 19th. And Philip is last on 20. In 20th, sorry. So there you go. Anyway, Source, let's move on to UFC.
Yes, UFC was a massive card over the weekend. UFC 274. I'll run you through the main card. I'll comment as we go. You had Randy Brown defeated Kellen Williams, welterweight, third round decision. You had light heavyweight. You had Vince St. Peru defeated Mauricio Rua, which is his last. Yeah, Shogun Rua. It's his last fight in the UFC. Unfortunately, didn't get the win. Bit of a boring fight. This fight was a bit of, obviously Shogun didn't want to get knocked out in 34 seconds like he did in his last fight against OSP, but he fought a lot smarter fight, went the distance. St. Peru probably did enough in the end to get the win. And then we had the lightweight, which was Michael Chandler. If you haven't seen the knockout, make sure you find it. Knocking out Tony Ferguson with a front heel kick to his chin. And there is a photo going around, Doma. It is pretty nasty. Someone's caught it on super slow-mo shutter, and his face just looks mangled as that kick is hitting his chin. Pretty crazy knockout by Chandler. He's one of the most exciting guys in the UFC right now, and he called out quite a few guys after the fight. So one being Conor McGregor. He'd love to kick his head in as well. So I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. I'm not going to lie. But I just don't think it makes sense. I just don't see how Conor McGregor comes in after having 2 losses and then fights, one of the best guys in the division. That's just unfair to the guy.
Can you explain? I agree with you with that. Can you also explain the Charles Oliveira thing?
Yeah, I'll explain that in a sec. And then in the women's strawweight, you had Carla Esperanza defeating Rose Thug Namajunas, 5th round decision. This fight was absolutely shit. I don't even know what to say about this fight. I'm not upset that Carla won. Like, do I think she did enough to win? That's arguable as well.
Was that the title fight?
It was a title fight. Did Rose go out there and assert herself as the champion and do enough to keep the belt? No. So, I think for Rose herself, it's maybe a bit of a wake-up call. She did say after the fight, what is this? I have to go out there and ruin this beautiful face. I have to go out there and get into brawls every fight or fuck up this face every fight. She's like, F this shit. Well, yes, Rose, you're the champion, but at the same time, you can't just dance around for 5 rounds and barely land a strike on Esperanza and expect to hold the title, man. Like, if you're the champion, you got to go out there in the first 2 rounds, tag him with some shots, be active in the first 2, and then because you're 2 rounds up and you're 2 rounds up, right? Then force them to come to you, play on the counter, dance around, force them to make mistakes, pick them off. But to literally dance around and then have her corner as well saying, yeah, you're not doing anything wrong, champ. Like, you're doing well. Everything's good. And her her one coach saying everything's good, and then you had another coach, which is her striking coach, saying you need to engage, like you need to throw more strikes, and then one coach saying no, it's all good, like you're doing well, keep doing what you're doing. And she obviously listened to the one coach and not to the other, and she paid for it. She lost the title. So that's the second time she's lost to Esperanza. So I think there'll be a rematch there because it was an ugly fight, and I think we'll get a better fight in the next one. And then we had the main event. We had Charles Oliveira submitting Justin Gaethje in the first round. Crazy fight. Crazy fight. Not a title fight because Oliveira was stripped of the title because he did not make weight. He was half a pound too heavy. And he was stripped of the title. But how it worked is it was pretty much the fight would continue. Gaethje wins, he takes the title. If Oliveira wins, the title remains vacant, but he's number one contender. So whoever is the next fight against him will be for the title, if you get what I mean. So the title at the moment is vacant because he won, and he's number one contender for the title. So Oliveira submitting him first round. It was a bit of a crazy fight. Gaethje caught him with some nice blows early, but he's so crafty because he gets caught with these blows and then he drops to his back. And what he does is he drops to his back and he uses his feet, and he wants the opponent to come in for the kill to try and engage him because he's dazed a bit, and then he grapples them and then he gets him into a where he's comfortable. So it happened to him twice in this fight where Gaethje hit him with a nice, a nice hook, and he dropped to the floor and just laid on his back and was waiting for Gaethje to come, like ready. Like he was just dazed. He wasn't fully, knocked. Gaethje backs up, doesn't want to engage in him on the ground. In the end, ends up on the ground. Was trying to protect from like a sort of a submission, like on the side of his body. And then before he knew it, Oliver had changed sort of position and got his back, and then was able to just get him under the chin and put him in a rear naked choke. Ended up tapping him out in the first round. Oliveira, absolute monster. Love the way he fights. Just does everything. Like, you just don't see too many guys that are that well rounded in the UFC, like throwing knees and kicks like he's a kickboxer, and then then being able to strike like a true boxer. He's got good striking, and then when he goes to ground, he's just a BJJ master down there, where he can just submit you in a number of different ways. So he's just so all rounded, and credit to him. It was a pretty exciting card, except for the Rose fight. That wasn't really exciting. Every other fight on the main card was pretty good. And then look forward this week, Doma. You got another fight night. It's UFC fight night. Blasevich versus I'm trying to see who it is. Nope, doesn't want to load for me. That's fun.
It is Blasevich though.
Blasevich versus Rakic. So that's this weekend. I'm not sure what time that would be a good fight. So Blasevich versus Rakic, that would be a really, really good fight in the heavyweight division. I think it is. But yeah, check it out this weekend. I can't really tell you the card because it's not loading for me. But nonetheless, head to UFC.com and check it out this weekend.
Very nice. All right, Sauce. Let's move on to Le Mans number 2 before we get into hobby talk. And hobby talk will be pretty brief, a bit of F1 stuff, as the title says, F1 cards exploding. And then obviously we'll look at one of the biggest cards ever pulled during the week as well. So we'll discuss that. But there is one person, Sauce. I don't know if this is going to be your honorable mention, but straight up, this person could just get the award like right now. Just close the voting, the All-Star voting. We might have to become the NBA Sauce, and we might even have to rig it just so the person wins it. Like, go NBA style. But during the week, right, if you're overseas and you're listening to this, there's one name that you may know. The person played in the NBA, but you'll definitely know the other person. So also, I don't know if you know where I'm going with this, but the person that that I mentioned first, his name is Andrew Gaze, all right? And he's obviously touted as the best basketball player to ever play the sport, best export from Australia, and one of the nicest guys here in Australia. One of the most loveliest people, great athlete, does a lot for the community, does a lot for basketball here in the country. And for him to get pissed off, Sauce, you got to really, really push him. Like that's the vibe I get with Andrew Gaze. On the other hand, there was another athlete also played in NBA. You definitely know who he is to people abroad, and his name is Andrew Bogut. So everyone knows who he is. Obviously, champion with the Warriors, played with them. Obviously, copped some backlash here in Australia because of his views on COVID, but that's a different story for a different day. Maybe for what are we doing here? We can chat about Bogues and Rogue Bogues. He's a great podcast. But the person Sauce, after making some, denying the allegations put towards her name, is your mate and my mate, our mate, and that is Liz Cambage. Obviously denied some of the stuff that she said in the Opals camp during the Olympics. Jenna O'Hay, who plays for the Opals, said that what she actually said was 100% correct. She said that Liz Cambage in the friendly against Nigeria told Nigerian rivals, this is quote, all right? So don't fucking, if you're listening to this and you haven't listened to the context of this, don't fucking go label me because fucking you don't want me coming after you, giving you a lemon as well. So she said, go back to your third world country in a practice game. And that was like the final straw. They got her booted off the team. She's obviously denied it. And of course, Sauce, of course, Gazy went on a rampage and gave it to her. But her biggest rival here in Australia, if you do not know, is Andrew Bogut. Andrew Bogut and Liz Cambage hate each other. And it is one of the true rivalries in Australian sports. And it's one that you would have thought that, I don't know, wouldn't exist. But Andrew Bogut comes in and he just says, Jenna O'Hay is just being nice about the whole situation. What she said is pretty much the PG version. And like what Jenna O'Hay said that Liz Cambage said to the Nigerian players. He said that it is 100 times worse. And it just, the words that she actually said can't be reported because of how bad they are. He said, you've got the PG version. There was much more than that. I'm just glad someone's come out and said it. He said it was beyond despicable what she said. There's much more in there that you can't say on radio. There's some other words that you can never repeat that I'd never even say, to be honest with you. They were words that you wouldn't dare repeat, and they were horrendous. This is all, you just can't excuse those kinds of behaviors, mental health or not. That doesn't excuse you making the comments that I've heard off the record, which are absolutely disgusting. It never gives you an excuse to just go out there and make those kinds of comments, in my opinion. I think that he said, I can hold my head up high and say that I always loved her, always cared for her. This is what Jenna O'Hay said. Always supported her, always had her back. I think that is her reality, and I think listeners and watchers out there can believe who they want to believe. But I can hold my head up high, said Jenna O'Hay. So, of course, Bogues has had a few punches at Liz Cambage. Of course, Liz, she's playing in the WNBA, and she's... If you knew me before this podcast, I was a massive supporter of Liz Cambage on the talent that she had, but also a big critic of her because my biggest pet hate in life source is people that have talent and just piss it away. They piss it up against the wall. Now, I still remember watching NBL games, which was too afraid to dunk the fucking basketball. Like, oh my god, I'm like, are we for real? You're scared to dunk the basketball. You could be like, honestly, the Shaquille O'Neal of the WNBL at the time, and you're too scared to dunk the basketball. But anyway, that's her own issues, and I'm not going to get into that. But what she's done is obviously a disgrace, in my opinion, to come out and do stuff like that. James said that her dad is Nigerian, so maybe she thinks it's acceptable because her dad is Nigerian, so that she can go out and say shit like that. But it doesn't work that way in the world, as we know. And unfortunately, Liz, you, young lady, are
A lemon cambage.
Have you got an honourable mention, Sauce, or was it her?
No, I do have an honourable mention. Hang on.
Oh, here we go. It's just Le Mans at left, right, and centre.
Honourable mention is this guy here on the scooter trying to give shit to the Roma fans in Rome. Here he is. They're on the bus there, so he's trying to give shit to them. Here he is. Hey, watch where you're going, dickhead. And he falls off his moped. Let's watch it again one more time. Here he is. He's trying to give shit to the Roma fans in Rome. And he's on his bike and he's going yelling at them. Whoa! Then he's off the bike. Watch where you're going, buddy. You're a lemon. You're a lemon, buddy. You're a lemon, mate. You gotta always watch the road. Watch it in front. Watch what's happening. But yeah, that's just an honourable mention. That guy, mate. Come on, if you're gonna give stick, you just gotta. You can't crash into a car.
Watch where you're going.
You have now just been given the ultimate stick because those blokes on the bus would be pissing their pants, mate. Would have made their day.
Oh, 100%. So yeah, a few lemons out there this week, Sauce. Hey, I can't believe it. It's just idiots everywhere. Anyway, let's get to Hobby Talk, brought to you by Platinum Standard Grading. Very nice, Sauce. Thank you to Platinum Standard Grading. We had our first sub come back, actually, from Platinum Standard Grading.
We did.
If you want to see the cards, feel free to jump in, obviously, to the PSG group subs Victoria group. Link is in the description below, and we might do that maybe tomorrow night or a bit later on. We'll see how we go.
Yeah, we'll see. It might be a bit late tonight. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how we go. All right, Sauce. We'll get a few things out very quickly. Hobby Hangout in Sydney announced awesome lineup, which is great. Obviously, the second time being held in Sydney at Sydney University. Looking to put on another big banger show is Andrew and the team. So, yeah, super excited for it, Sauce. Obviously, heaps of vendors there. Speakers. Good lineup of speakers. The big G units up there again, of course, from Cherry with Charlie. Who else we got there? Brett is going to be on from PSG, which is good. Brendan from Mercury is going to be on there. It's hosted by Splash, which is awesome. By
Dennis, aka Dennis.
So very excited about. Actually, we'll be able to meet Dennis because we are going to be going to the Hobby Hangout, Sauce. You and I will be there on July 2nd, causing trouble as usual. That's what we do. But it'd be great to catch up with a lot of people and obviously meet a lot of people as well that are based in Sydney that we still haven't met since obviously starting the podcast and forming relationships in the hobby from the people over in Sydney. So there you go. James will be there, which is good.
We'll be there,
how much do I know about the card fair this weekend? It was a massive, like, I don't want to shit on it, but it was a massive disappointment last time it was at this venue. So I don't know. North Melbourne, I think it is, Source.
Yeah,
This
is it
week.
this weekend? I don't think it is this weekend. I'll double check that for you right now. I thought it was next weekend.
There you go. I don't know. Stalls for the hobby hangout. There's a whole bunch of them. I wish I could share my screen. I don't know why it's doing this shit, to be honest, because it was working the other day. It's just so frustrating. Anyway, it is what it is. It's not coming up. But a whole bunch of people will be there. And we look forward to traveling down Source and meeting them. I'm going to send you a link. You're going to have to bring it up. Core King Source. I'll send this to you.
Yeah, next weekend, global, next weekend, 29th, I believe.
Crown Royale.
So not even this weekend, the weekend after. It says here the 29th of May. So the next Melbourne card fair, which is just, it's generally a lot of AFL cards. There's a bit more variety the next time than last time than there was the previous time. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, look, support the local show. That's what we got for now. Do bigger and better things like the hobby hangout and whatnot. So yeah.
Easy. All right, Source, I sent you Crown Royale preview. We can bring that up. I'll start reading a bit of the information. Comes out Wednesday, May 11th, which is tomorrow in the States. Details. Kaboom! The king of die-cut designs returns. Isn't this like, what's this, like the 25th Kaboom in a different set? Panini America's Crown Royale is back with the 21-22 Crown Royale basketball. As collectors, we love this release. As always, brings some fresh and interesting to the table, and this year is no different. You'll find one autograph per box on average from the top NBA superstar rookies or legends of the game. Keep your eyes peeled for the highly sought-after rookie silhouettes in prime and super prime, and personal favorites on the super short print. There it is, Kaboom. Catch more details, including sneak preview of the sets.
What do you reckon their thought process is when they go around? All right, here's another Crown Royale set. How do we add an extra layer in this? Oh, let's just throw a Kaboom in there.
Yeah, pretty much, and rip off Immaculate for that card. That patch of Cade Cunningham literally looks like an Immaculate card. There it is.
It does look Immaculate. It's just got that shield sort of style.
Yeah. One auto, one mem, and two inserts or parallels per box on average. It's 8 cards per pack, 1 pack per box. Find 1 memorabilia card per box.
I think everything in here is stickers as well. There's no on cards. There was a time where, products like Crown Royale, Revolution had on card autos. Unfortunately, it seems to be that, one of two things. Panini don't give a shit anymore, or they're just happy to pull the wool over everyone's eyes and just stick a dump pretty much every product other than what you would say from like impeccable upwards. Anything that's that's not thick cardboard, that's like just your standard 35 point or maybe a little bit thicker, they stick a dump. It's disappointing, man. It really is to see this. And, especially because, some of this stuff, especially the earlier stuff, it's supposed to be, signed at like some of the rookie days and that. And it's not like they didn't have a rookie day. They did, I believe. Some of these, maybe these ones they didn't. But I just don't understand it, man. And then what kills me more is just like the design on the Revolution that released this season. They're going to put stickers on there, sticker autos, but they don't make the square big enough on the bottom of the card to fit the whole sticker.
That looked horrendous when you posted that in your story. That looks so shit. Like really, really bad QC. Honestly, that's really bad.
Well, it's not even quality control, man. That's just the design of the card.
Poxy. It just looks so poxy,
doesn't it? It looks a bit like it just looks like it's a Jersey Fusion, like it's not supposed to be there.
I just don't, Source. It's just like I love this hobby so much, but I just don't understand. Like, I can understand, but I just don't see how other people just can't understand like justification of your money. You know what I mean?
What are we actually feeling that these boxes are going to release?
Source, you go buy a fucking box of floors for 20 grand US, yeah, which is around about 24,500 Australian dollars, yeah, and you get 1,200 or maybe even less, because we've seen the stats, like in return, yeah, and you justify your money in that, and you continually like buy more and more boxes of floors, and I get it, the people have the money, but justifying 20 grand US into a product where the quality is average, you don't get much in it. You know, yeah, everyone's was looking after that triple logo, man. But I know it might be night and day in a comparison. But Source, if you put 20,000 USD and you put $24,500, for example, into a car, yeah, and it takes how long to rip a flawless box? Say 10 minutes, 5 minutes, yeah. Let's just say you buy a car for $24,500, and after 5 minutes it starts having fucking problems, and you start going, fuck, I put $24,500 into a car, I can't justify my money. It's a lemon of a car, you know, it's got all these faults in it. But we're happy to go keep spending $1,000 on WWE Prism and getting shit. Like US, like
It's always
$1,300
look.
on that. Like, I know it's a gamble source. I get
It's
that.
a
I
gamble,
get
Dom, but
that.
it's not justified. It's really not justified
It's
at the
just,
price that some of this
it's the
stuff is
that's what
releasing.
I'm trying to say. The price point is not justified for anything. It's a lose-lose situation, in my opinion, for the people in the hobby.
Yeah, so like we'll have to have a look here. 17, 18 at the moment. Hobby boxes, Crown Royale, 570 on Blowout. 1920 Zion year, 712. Probably understandable. They're a bit more expensive. Last year's hobby boxes, 2021, 522 and 50 cents on Blowout. This is in USD, ladies and gentlemen. There's no release price. It just says here, contact them, new release here, contact them if you want to order. So, you know, be on the lookout to see what they release their prices at. Maybe I'm not sure if Cherry have anything, but I'll have a look and suss them out now. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm expecting the release to be around 500 US for a hobby box, which is, you know what, around 750. I don't know. I just don't know.
So also, Chuck, like, just on this trend, yeah. I know we mentioned it off the grid, but I just chucked a link in there for you. On the same note, but Topps Chrome F1 Sapphire Edition is on its way. Well, has been released. I'm pretty sure, Source, on the pre-sale. It came out, yeah, May 6th. And the interesting thing on this one, Source, as you did mention,
Cherry's got them up there. $635 USD a box. 2020, 21, 22. Yeah, look, I can't see the value in that, especially for something where you're going to get one. You get one. Oh, that was Fodal. Is that Fodal? Find one Fodal. I don't even know anymore what the hell I'm looking at. But yeah, it says hobby box here, and I think they got a picture of the Fodal box. But
Global makes a good point. He goes, it's up to the people to refuse to pay these radical prices. I get it. I know we harp on about it every week, but you make a good point there. So
it's unfortunate because it's not going to be the case, because now it goes, you know, the majority of people that do buy this stuff is breakers, and then they're able to break that down into smaller spots, and that's how they sort of get people
here's
to buy
Jay,
into it.
$634 for that crap. What a scam. Oh fuck, that's funny. But the article I sent you, Source, on Topps Chrome F1 Sapphire, unlike 2020, where the Montgomery Burns members got first pickings, hasn't happened this time, Saucy. And the UK price is roughly 778 USD, which is a huge increase compared to 100 USD from 2020. So, yeah.
Top seen the dollar signs. They knew the cash cow that they had. was never going to be as good as it was first time around. They sort of tested the waters. They underprinted stuff. That's why we always say that nothing is going to be as good as none of these
2020.
sets now going forward is going to be as good as 2020, just because there's more rarity in it. Even in the Sapphire, I think there's more parallels now in this one, new Sapphire. And then obviously, the box, I mean, they released it at 150 US last year or something like that to Montgomery, or 129 or something like that to Montgomery Burns members straight through their Topps website. And this year they didn't even give that to them.
You can
So
see
they didn't even offer that to them.
You can also see on the side there the pre-order confirmation boxes up for sale on eBay. $13.50 US, $1,200 US for this year's Sapphire product, which is absurd to me, but it is what it is. Jay said
that is absurd, because it took quite a while for Sapphire to get to 1,500 US, and here you got people trying to flog them off for nearly 1,500, and just a couple weeks after the product's released.
Jay says, I just produced a trading card product. I know what it costs to make. The box is less than $30, you said.
Yeah, especially if there's no orders and that in it, and it's just numbered cards, and which is Sapphire is, and shorter prints and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
So the parallel breakdowns are a chartreuse. That's the what it's called, source. That's at a 199, negative, which is 100, aqua 99, green 75, gold to 50, orange to 25, black and white to 15, purple to 10, red to 5, and the Pad Paradash is a 101, whatever the fuck that is. It's 4 cards per pack, 8 packs per box for Sapphire. Same thing as usual. You can obviously get Derivala, Nisani, and Piastri in this product. Sato as well as the F2 drivers. For the F1 drivers, I think I don't even know who the fucking rookie is. Probably Mick Schumacher will be the rookie. It'll be the same rookies as Topps Chrome. Yeah. So that's it for that, and it's just exploding. It's gone absolutely
disappointed that they
didn't
try to involve veteran drivers, or go, not goats of the sport, but older guys of the sport. You know what I mean? Getting a Martin Brundle card in there, getting a Alan Prost and getting older dudes. Coulton Hart. Even if you're getting that, Raikkonen,
Montoya. There's heaps of them.
There's heaps of guys, man, that they could be tapping into, and just elevating the product even more, man. I just don't think they just didn't give any thought.
So many great drivers. Like, fuck me, man. Like, it's just so stupid. It's the same product. It's genuinely the same product.
Maybe it's a new license that they got to discuss with guys outside of the sport. I don't know.
I'll slap him across the head, if you ask me. Anyway, it's just stupid. The other one I quickly want to send you before we show a couple of exploding prices. Jace, do stick around. Please do not go anywhere, because I'm about to show some golden auction stuff. I'll send it to Source. But this one here is Topps Dynasty Source, which, not for anything, is the one that we were all saying on Crunch Time had the most value to it for last year's product. But here it is. The checklist has come out. That's why I've sent you this link. So if you go down, the checklist is there. And all the cards that are available. Obviously, we've got those dual constructor autos where you can get Valtteri Bottas with Lewis Hamilton. So, which is what you want. And that it's not his partner at the moment, but it is what it is. The suit flag relics are always the one that people love. And it's the same thing. You can get the 101 Dynasty Constructor team. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Pre-orders $5,000.
Yeah. How much was it last year, Source? Go.
Pre-orders, like the very first pre-order was like 450 US or something like that.
Thank you. Yeah, it was.
I think
Yeah.
they were. I think I think 600, 700 Australian dollars a box, around
Yeah.
that.
It's genuinely 10 times more expensive to pre-order it this time around. Like, can we just stop? Like, honestly, I know I said we should stop harping on about it, but seriously, can we not see that we're getting fucking rorted like right before our very eyes? Like, I don't need to worry because I don't go out and buy these boxes. So, because I'm not stupid enough to spend the money to get nothing, like to get a fucking Christian Horner auto. Like, that's my luck. So I'd rather go buy a box of Footy Stars or a box of Select Prestige, or, I'll stick to the footy where, if I can actually have a crack at getting a pre-order box for a reasonable price. And if I want to sell some of the cards, if I don't follow that guy or don't like that player, I can get it and mitigate some of my costs, that I've put out source. Not mitigate in terms of like lose 100% of the value. I'll probably be able to make 70% back of the box. Maybe even a bit more. Maybe even come out ahead.
At $5,000 for a box, you're pretty much resigned to pulling like.
Go back to that article on Cardboard Connection. Scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see from last year's products. All right, from last year's products. All right, so $5,000. Now these cards down here are from 2020 Topps Dynasty, so they've had their peak of the market at the moment. It's at its peak and still climbing. So this is at its threshold at the moment on what it's up for. And I get the fact that everyone keeps saying to me, yeah, but if you pull the Hamilton, it's life-changing. Yeah? But just remember, it's only going to be one person that pulls that Hamilton. All right? So that's $6,000 for that Sebastian Vettel source. That's $6,000, all right?
But that's
BGS,
obviously
that's a BGS
you can make an
A5.
offer, but that's number to 5 of a guy who's won 4 world championships, right?
It's graded.
And it's graded, right? And that's like, you'd have to get like a number to 5, at least a Vettel, to make the cost back of your box. Like, obviously, if you get a Max or a
I get that. I get
Hamilton, you're going to be laughing, but the chances are minimal, man. The chances are minimal. I mean, you could get a Mattia Binotto.
There you go.
Then you're fucked.
I don't know. But it is exploding. Like, it's getting out of control. Like, for the modern stuff, where all the value is actually in the vintage for F1. I'll send you this source. Here's another link. Yeah, I wanted to put that it's exploding here in the title of the show because it is. It's gone nuts. I'll send you that. You can bring that up. It's got from highest to lowest golden auctions at the moment. There's still 10 days. Obviously, the Futera Lewis Hamilton is there in the PSA 9. It's a pop 2. It's currently at $132,000. Got a few other cards in there. Obviously, a couple Topps Dynasty Lewis cards there as well.
Verstappen, number 10. Wow. $2,000 for this PSA 10 Mercedes red refractor. People are crazy. People are crazy.
Yeah, so you can gauge how crazy it is for some of the pricing on this stuff at the moment. We've got a good guest coming on the show this week as well regarding F1 source. So if you're listening out there, make sure you listen to this F1 podcast that's coming up, because it might open a few eyes. It really might. So, yeah, Jay's not happy with the Paparadasha or whatever the hell it is. Says it's a crock of BS. They make the same 101 every year. Not rare.
Well, this is what I mean. Like the one of ones like lost its true thing, because they do like a 1-of-1 of him in this pose, and then a 1-of-1 of him in this pose, and a 1-of-1 of him in this pose. So ends up being in the product instead of just one of one. There ends up being 7 or 8 one of ones. So yeah, it's
And lucky last source.
do.
Triple logo man finally pulled. Of course, no one other than Backyard Breakers, of course. So, which is very funny, very fitting.
They can
to
add
have
that
them.
triple logo, man, to their gold Trevor Lawrence kaboom. They can add it to that. And
So honestly, honestly, they pulled it. Congrats to them. The reactions are always the funniest thing, and it was a great reaction. They were just screaming the house down. I think we would also be losing our shit sauce if we pulled a card like that. So, your thoughts on the card itself?
looks like shit. Doesn't look that great. It annoys me how small the images of LeBron are on there. Like, I don't know. But obviously a life changing card. I'll be interested to see if this ends up on Golden. And have people having a bidding war over it.
It's got to end up on Golden. It's got to.
Possibly.
Who knows? Anyway, that's it for Hobby Talk. Saucy, do you have a smoky for us this week?
No smoky this week. Not gonna piss in your pocket. I did follow that one with Messi holding his top. There was an SGC I showed last week, 9. Only it went for $54. So maybe the card sort of hasn't really taken a moment. But if it's something, if you're a Messi collector, I think it's an interesting card to have. It's synonymous with obviously that famous jersey that sold on Golden for like over $1 million or close to just last week or a couple of weeks ago. So make sure you check it out. Yeah, look, we hope that means that it can drop the price of Flawless, because wasn't that the only thing holding up the price of Flawless? I mean,
well, technically, there's nothing left in Flawless now.
Well, it doesn't matter, because if you've seen the price of some of LaMelo's cards out of Flawless, they're not worth what you're putting into the box.
In saying that source, they've ripped about how many cases of Topps Chrome F1 and all these things, and all the good cards are being pulled, and they're still going up in value. So
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know, that's a fair point.
Might get to 40,000. That Flawless. Panini might turn around and say, "Guess what? There's actually this card hidden in there now, and it hasn't been pulled." Fuck. They'll think it's something. They put a Jordan card in their Panini product. That's what they'll say. There's a Jordan logo man in there now. Fuck, they just make up whatever they want at the moment. So, hey, Manny, how you going? Good to have you stop by.
I will leave you with a certain thought, and I went and had a look at some of the indexes on Cardladder, seeing if you guys. I mean, I think it's a good time. If just buy your time. There's going to be an opportunity for you to pick up some good PC cards. As much as people were saying, "Oh, the high end wasn't really feeling the market correction," I think it is starting to now. Cards that Kobe Bryant flawless on card auto card, that were like 20,000, they're down significantly from what people were trying to sell them last year. So, if there is a card on your radar, keep an eye out. A guy like Kobe Bryant, his index is down a shitload from his peak. Tim Duncan, if you're a Tim Duncan collector, brilliant time to be buying Tim Duncan. He's down a heap. So yeah,
you're going to be dropping sauce.
On the lookout, mate. Be on the lookout for certain guys that you want to pick up. And hopefully there is the opportunity to pick up a PC card that you've been looking at for a while.
I think a lot of cards are going to drop sauce. Fuck. Like, obviously coming back from the States, there's a lot of issues, man. Like, a lot of issues.
Tell us, how much does a pack of chips cost? I'm going to tell you. Hawaii?
All right. So the minimum wage in Hawaii is from $10.10 an hour, and they want to try and get it to 18 by 2028. Okay, so keep that in mind. So $10.10. I'll tell you what the minimum wage is here in Australia.
The minimum wage, what, for someone of 18? I think it's like $21 an hour or something like that.
So national minimum wage here is $20 an hour, so it's $772.60 per week for a 38-hour week. So just think about this: $20.33. All right, so I go over to the States and I convert my money. Obviously, I don't get dollar for dollar; I get 72 cents on the dollar. And you're going to do the conversion and whatever that shit is. But I look at $10.10 source. All right, $10.10. And there's a few people that are obviously, I look at it a bit differently with a business background, like the whole global thing with economics and all that type of stuff. And it is all interconnected, as much as people are naive and think that, oh, it's not connected and it's not going to affect this. And it's not, it is all connected. And go in their source for a medium packet of chips, just a standard packet of chips. You just go down to Milk Bar or Coles or 7-Eleven.
It's usually around the 120 grams or something around that.
No,
100
no,
grams.
the medium ones.
150?
They're a bit, yeah, maybe a
200?
little bit more, 200, I think. Yeah, whatever it is. Keep in mind what I said, $10.10 sauce. $10.10. $5.80 sauce for a medium bag of chips, right? $5.80 I saw ranging to $6.40. Now, if you want a big bag of chips, a big jumbo bag of chips, mate, you're looking $8.20 to $9.10 a bag. That's what I saw. I'm not fucking shitting you.
So whole hour. You just worked a whole hour
for a bag of chips. So you're going to feed your family. You're going to feed your family with a bag of chips. And you're telling me that inflation is not going to have a problem and people aren't going to be selling off their assets to try and make ends meet. Like, you know, there's been a massive delay. Everyone thought, oh, we're scot-free because COVID, you know, we got away with it. There's no issue. Man, saucy. Interest rates are starting to rise here in this country. A lot more getting tacked onto people's mortgages. A lot more sacrifices are going to have to be made. A lot of people now, saucy, with those COVID relief payments that spent it on fucking Gucci handbags and Louis Vuitton luggage. They're going to fucking be regretting it now. Should have stored that away for a rainy day. Because you're going to need all the relief you can get. So it's going to affect the card market. It is going to come, as much as people say it's not going to happen and it's an asset. Assets depreciate in value. It is just common sense. Like, that is the world source. Not every asset holds its value. It goes down. Cars depreciate and they appreciate. Like, that's how it is. So a perfect example of that is like the secondhand car market here in Australia for cars that you can't get anymore because obviously the import
tax fees, import fees.
No, well, cars aren't coming in as frequent as they did pre-COVID because of all the issues and stuff. So with freight,
also has to do with freight, yeah, and with the increase on container loads and how much it costs to bring a container in, the cost, which is once again an inflation.
So everything goes up. So these cars are now at a premium because there's no new cars coming in, and if you order a new car, it can take 1 year for it to arrive because of the demand and the problem with the channels. That's what I'm saying, distribution channels. So it raises secondhand cars here in the country up. Because people are like, fuck, they can't get new cars. So we'll raise our secondhand car prices. And what happens usually is sometimes they don't go down. But then because there's no distribution of new cars, when the new cars do come in, people that thought I could still keep selling my car for 25 grand when it was worth 13 and a half, for example, doesn't work that way. People say, fuck, well, you'll be having your cars listed on car sales for the rest of your life, mate, because I can now buy the brand new car for 25 grand. So people just don't see it yet. They just don't see it yet. The writing was on the wall the moment you got put into a lockdown. So printing money does not make sense. So you got to pay it back somehow.
They don't print it, Dom. They just type it digitally in some computer and make a new figure. So they don't print shit, mate. Just type a couple of digits.
Yeah, James goes inflation rising, another reason for Panini to up the box prices. Maddie says try 2 years. And Jay, we're going to end on this. SmackDown hasn't even begun. Interest rates have been in negative, and when they escalate, it's all over. Stupid. Hyping up this crap as an investment. We'll learn a new word soon, liability. Correct. They are not assets. Assets create cash flow, fully franked dividends, ability to borrow against, etc.
You can borrow against with an investor card.
Yeah. Should be called promoter homeless. That's what it should be fucking called.
Oh well, I don't know. I haven't looked at it, but I'll tell you what. Do not, ladies and gentlemen, go to Investorcard and loan money out against your cards as
an asset. Put it this way. Yeah, put it this way. If you go to the Commonwealth Bank, if you go to a Big Four bank and you say, "Listen, I want to take the equity out of my trading card," you should try it tomorrow. Please try it. Because the guy at the bank will be like, I can tell you what the bank is going to look at you and be like, are you fucking out of your mind?
Pokemon First Edition Charizard, mate. See if you can get equity out.
The bank is like, do you have a house? No. Well, that's an asset. He goes, I wipe my ass with cardboard cards, mate. I'm not giving you fucking collateral against it. And if he gave you collateral, he'd say, yeah, the interest rate's like fucking 40% a month. Because I don't know if I'm ever going to get my money back.
So look, I don't know what old Mr. Investor cards interest rates are, but I'm sure they're probably high.
It's probably a bit. It's probably a bit different over in the States.
Don't do it, ladies and gentlemen.
Anyway, don't you dare do that. Like, yeah. Anyway, on that note, Source. Bit of a down to earth chat. Yeah, at 15% interest. No thanks.
Investor con, mate. Oh, Jay, he doesn't hold back. We're good. It's good to have you back, Jay. Good to have you back.
Missed you, Jay. We missed you. You need your own podcast. Well, we've got a network here on Double Coverage, mate. There's always room for you if you ever wanted to get into that field. You would be fucking unbelievable. The mafia is cheaper.
Oh,
well. Difference is, Jay, they come to break your legs if you don't pay it on time. So is it actually cheaper? Who knows? Anyway, it's been myself, Dom, with the great man Source. Keep living, loving, and breathing sports. We love you, Double Coverage family. You make it entertaining all the time. Peace. We'll catch you.
Peace. The most underrated sports and trading card podcast on the planet. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, Double Curve.